Hello everyone and welcome to the tracc.eu KCG. This is the KCG. We are at round 5 today at the Saxon ring, as you can see in the background already. Hosted by tracc.eu, of course, this revival of the classic KCG racing series. My name is Julian Strass, and with me today in the commentary booth is one very friendly face who likes the TCRs, who likes touring car racing. It's Jordan Brunch. Hello.
No, I thought you were going to say something else when you started with the letter F. I thought you were going to say fast when you corrected yourself.
You are fast in some classes, yeah.
Or maybe on an off day, maybe.
Maybe on an off day. Anyways, this is the KCG, and we have a little bit prepared for you. Look at the track lap, which will show you how a lap around Sachsenring feels.
Welcome everyone for a lap around the Saxon ring in an Opel Astra TCR. We're going to start here from the last corner, which is going to be off camber over a crest right here. And it is going to be a bit difficult to take. You will have to deal with understeer, especially on front wheel drive cars or rear wheel drives. You will have to deal with oversteer. Now brake roughly here before that white line on the left side. You want to take a nice and early apex. Now here, stay tight, stay tight, stay tight. And you want to stay tight even here in the third corner, which is probably going to be the last right-hand corner for a while, for the entire lap, because now there we go with the left-handers. After a crest, you can use a little bit of curb and tarmac around the exit. You can take this one flat, and now it's going to be a blast of uphill and downhill, down into third gear. Oh boy, it's tough. Take it easy. No, sacrifice the exit a bit. Stay tight because you want to get a good run through here. Downhill. Oh boy. Now brake a little bit after the curve starts. Keeping into fourth gear, late apex. Make sure to go early on throttle. And now we're back to the last corner. Oh boy. Nice and easy. Remember what we did before. Try and get a good exit. And that was a short lap, but very intense, of the Saxon ring in Germany in an Opel Astra TCR.
And that was a beautiful lap done by yours truly, Sebastiano Rossi, around the circuit, who is, I don't know if he's going to race today. We will see that. But it was done in a beautiful car, the Opel Astra TCR.
Yeah, car you don't see much of.
Unfortunately, you don't. It's, well, it's of course not in the official TCR roster. It never really participated in a WTCR race. Funnily enough, it did participate in a TC... What's it now? The World... TCR World Cup or something like that.
The WTCR.
No, it's not the WTCR anymore. It's the TCR World Series or something, where it's like invites only. You have like the top 12 ranked TCR drivers get invited or something like that, and they race with 12 support drivers in a local series. Where last year they raced at an Italian circuit. I forgot the name of that, where in the support series there was an Austrian racing driver driving for an Austrian team driving the Opel Astra TCR.
In fact, I think I remember this. I'm pretty sure this was mentioned at the time at some place in track.
Oh, that was absolutely mentioned in our Discord server, which you can join, by the way, through this beautiful QR code that is currently on the side of your screen. But yeah, We're at the end of the practice session right now, and quickly before we get into the qualifying session, which is obviously a solo qualifying session, we will, I will tell you a bit about the standings right now. So in the GT3 class, we have Lucas Fischer, who is currently on screen here, starting the first quali run, is in the lead with 76 points. That is a strong showing, considering the second place is Cody Nikola Latkovsky, who won most of the races so far, and he has 75 points, so just 1 point behind Lucas Fischer. However, and here's the interesting thing, Cody Nikola Latkovsky has the maximum success ballast possible today with 21 kilograms. That's for winning the last 2 rounds. And
Very impressive.
indeed, very impressive. And the next person in the standings for GT3 is Jiří Kratochvil, who we currently see here, not yet started the quali run, with 71 points, so also just behind the 2 other ones, as we can see. And then we have František Štofko, an Audi driver, with 41 points currently in P4. We have Rüdiger Lampe, who hasn't started the run yet, with 36 points. And a few others who, well, not all of them are currently here today. But also, we have a TCR championship running at the same time, with Sebastiano Rossi, who we currently see in the Alpha, is in P1 with 90 points, followed by Joe Senna with 83 points, and Sven Mackenberg with 52 points, and Colin Barker with 50 points. Quite some battles going on in both classes right now. It'll be interesting to see what they can do here at the Saxon ring with all of its elevation changes. And I have heard from TCR drivers that there might be tire swaps necessary today, because the front right tire is getting properly challenged by this section we're going through right here, the most left-handers in a row around the world on any circuit.
I will say, the thing I like about KCG compared to some of our other championships, Join, is I've seen the different spread of manufacturers represented in both GT3 and TCRs.
Oh yeah, that is absolutely beautiful. For example, we're currently on board with an Audi, František Štofko, who is coming around to finish the lap. Of course, we have Ferraris, we have Lincoln Co's in the TCR, Porsche, Mercedes. Quite a lot of spread right now, and as we see, Lucas Fischer is currently in the lead, but Jiří Kratochvil is coming around and trying to challenge for that. Let's take a look. Ah, close behind, only just shy of 4 tenths behind that, with the Ferrari. Yeah.
But I will say it's quite I think quite something I've noticed is there's a lot of Red Bull sponsorship on the GT3 side of the grid.
Oh, yeah.
I've noticed at least 3 cars have some Red Bull liveries.
No, that's the thing when you have RaceRoom, where of course everything is a fixed livery that you take. Some people just like the Red Bull design, and I cannot blame them. The dark blue with the red, I think that's a nice combination of colors.
I really like the Audi with the red one. I don't know why. For me, it looks very visually pleasing.
Yeah, and it's not dark blue. It is. I think the Audi is actually black in terms of the livery, or is it a very dark blue? I think it's a very dark blue. Now that I look at it.
In fact, you know what it does remind me of, Julian? I'm
What?
not sure. It reminds me of the old Audi TT from the early 2000s that raced in
yeah.
DTM.
Yeah, I know which one you mean. Yeah. Right. Yes, you're right. I mean, honestly, they have a pretty similar bodywork as well. So,
Well, maybe that livery was a homage of sorts. Maybe a throwback kind of livery.
maybe it was.
Or, well, knowing Red Bull, they like their consistency with their racing liveries. Look at their F1 program. They've kept with the same livery since like 2015, 2016.
But
Haven't really changed it.
maybe, but look at this. This is a non-Red Bull livery by Julian Metzner, who's just switched to the GT3 class, and it looks like he's mixing up the competition. He's currently in P1 and is looking to improve even on that previous time. What can he do coming around? Oh yeah! Over 3/10 ahead of Lucas Fischer right now, who previously has been the qualifying king out of our competitors here today. So, wow.
I can say Metzner has definitely done some wild things behind the wheel here to get 3/10 up on Fischer, which is something you don't really see every day.
That's a nice one. He did some wild things, yeah. Of course,
Aha.
Wild Things racing driver Julian Metzner.
See, what can I say? The more races I commentate with you, the more my humor gravitates towards your sense of humor.
Yeah, very well done. Very well done. As Joe
I
Senna,
got a pat in the back for that one.
yeah, definitely. As Joe Senna comes around right now, the Peugeot driver, that was not an improvement. However, look at him. He's just ahead of Sven Mackenberg in the qualifying session. So it's also looking very close between the TCRs. Looking back to František Štofko right now, he looks to be catching up to his compatriot of Jiří Kratochvil.
I will say also with KCG is you see a lot of nationalities of drivers which you don't normally see in another series. Like, I think that's North Macedonia?
Yeah, North
Croatia.
Macedonia.
Greece? Oh, a lot of different types of people for the KCG Championship, which makes it nice and interesting.
Yeah, that's something beautiful to see. We don't have the biggest grid, but we have a very diverse grid. We can put it like that, I think, without any trouble, without any problem whatsoever.
Diverse nationalities, diverse cars in each class. So,
Definitely.
perhaps the KCG needs a D for which would stand for diversity. The KCGD. That sounds like something you would get at college. Sounds like some sort of degree.
Oh, yeah, that's like the class that you have to take in order to get the degree, but it's a class that no one really cares about anyways.
That, or it sounds like those modern Discord tags, which you can, funnily enough, if you join the tracc.eu Discord, you can get the tracc.eu server tag.
Exactly, you can get the T.EU server tag nowadays, which we have just gotten yesterday. So look at those flares. But anyways, back to Cody Nikola Latkovsky, who looks to improve on his time. Look at that purple first sector. He was 1/10 ahead, but lost a bit in the second sector. Let's see how the third sector turns out for him. Can he challenge for that P3 ahead of Jiří Kratochvil? This is going to be his last lap this run. Oh yeah, look at that! He's now P3, the North Macedonian Nikola Latkovsky is right behind the two young Germans, Julian Metzner and Lucas Fischer.
I will say there is a good amount of Germans on the grid. Perhaps their home race will be a good showing for them, as we have currently in provisional pole and provisional P2, the provisional front grid, I should just say. The GT3 is all German.
Yeah, and there's no one there to challenge that anymore. And here we have the final results of the qualifying session. We have Julian Metzner. Of course, this is his home circuit. He is in P1 for Wild Things Racing. followed by Lucas Fischer, Cody Nikola Latkowski, Jiří Kratochwil, Mike Köch, František Stofko, and Rüdiger Lampe. And in the TCR class, we have Joe Senna qualifying ahead of Sven Mackenberg, Sebastiano Rossi, Colin Barker, and Vasilis Katarinakis. And now that we have them all listed like that, there is so much color diversity when it comes to these flags. Like, you're absolutely right. There's so many different people around here. Beautiful to see.
No, it's for me personally, I feel like certain few nations have dominated VTrack recently, but it is just very refreshing to come to KCG and have lots of different types of drivers from different countries.
Yeah, VTrack, of course, one of our other series that we run at tracc.eu. It's currently an ACC series, which is run exclusively at the moment for VTubers. This, of course, KCG here is open for everyone. So we can see the first bit of lapping practice here between Lucas Fischer and Sebastiano Rossi. The lapping is something that I am cautiously pessimistic about.
So it's like Fischer had 2 wheels in the grass there. So perhaps maybe pushing a little too hard just in the warm-up?
Might very well be the case. I mean, also these tires will not be on working temperature yet already. Having to go offline a bit there to get the overtake done. It all comes together in situations like that. Hopefully when we are in the middle of the race, problems like that will not occur any longer.
I will say it's. I think it's interesting, but Metzner's went for a Ferrari. I think I could be wrong. Someone has to fact check me on this, but I think this is the first time I've ever saw him compete in a Ferrari. Normally he's more used to like the BMW M4 and other cars.
Yeah, I mean that is what we know from ACC, if I remember correctly. Of course, totally different physics engine here at RaceRoom. We just saw Lucas Fischer doing a test start because obviously these cars will have a standing start. So it's better to test it a bit to see where you will launch off. Interestingly, Lucas Fischer went to qualify in the P1 position, went to try starting there in the P1 position and not in the P2 position.
Interesting, very observant of you, Drew. But yeah, just practicing getting that right to the white point and just hopefully not too much wheel spin launching. But yeah, I will say it's, to me, and I think to you as well, it's quite strange seeing GT3s having a standing start. TCRs are, I think for most TCR series, are standing start, but yeah, well, standing start in a GT3 feels a bit out there, you know.
Well, how do the starts work at the Nürburgring 24 hours? Are those rolling starts? And in groups for each class, I reckon.
Yeah.
Right.
The more you know.
The more you know. We are now in the race session formation. Everyone can have a last check on their setups right now. Potentially I was wrong because we're currently looking at Lucas. Are we looking at Lucas Fischer here, or are we looking at? I think this. Yeah, I think
that is Fischer, because Metzner is driving a non-Red Bull sponsored 296.
I thought it was my error earlier. Yeah, he did actually do the practice from the correct position there. As we start on board with Rüdiger Lampe, it seems. The red lights are on. And we're going. Let's take a look at this start. There's a smoke screen being deployed in the background already, but we can see that Julian Metzner is already in the lead, and they're 3 wide for the GT3s. 2 GT3s going off there, going wide. That's František Štofko and Lucas Fischer, they're going off. Yeah, and the top 3 are now Julian Metzner, Jiří Kratochvil, and Cody Nikola Latkovsky. With František Štofko being stuck behind the entire TCR grid right now, so having to move past all of them already once in the start of this race. In the TCRs, it looks like Joe Senna has been able to stay in the lead ahead of the Alfa Romeo of Sebastiano Rossi, but it is very close between the two. We'll have to see how the slipstream affects the two. They're very close to one another. Look at this, how close they're getting across the curb there. But it's all going to come down at the end of the braking zone that is coming up now on the downhill section. Rüdiger Lampe is the first one looking for an overtake here, but is not able to move past Kirk. Oh, late move there by Sebastiano Rossi to the inside of Joe Senna, and he takes the leading position with František Štofko making it 3 wide for the last corner of the circuit, and that was the first lap around the Saxon ring.
Pretty clean start, all things considered, despite 2 cars running wide in GT3 class.
Yeah, I don't think there has been a single collision, at least I didn't see anyone, as we are currently looking at Jiří Kratochvil, who is directly on the rear of Julian Metzner.
I will say it's Ferrari versus Porsche, so I wonder what car is more favored on here, the 296 or the 992?
We will have to find that out. There is... Oh, it seems like there has been an issue for Joe Senna, who has spun out here in the background. And there's also the TCR Vasilis Katerinakis going wide. That means Sven Mackenberg is now in the P2 position for the TCRs.
In the Volkswagen, so a German car with a German driver at a German track, all German.
Well, let's see if this home advantage helps him enough to catch up to Sebastiano Rossi and maybe even try for an overtake.
Yeah, it's a good size gap they have at the moment, but I definitely feel like perhaps maybe if the Volkswagen gets a good run, maybe it can challenge the Alfa Romeo.
I think it's going to be... The biggest question today is going to be how will these drivers and the cars handle the tire degradation? Because starting after this 3-leaf clover sort of section here we have at the beginning, and look at it from a map, it actually looks like a 3-leaf clover. Then starting now we have the longest left-hander section in the world, basically. A bunch of corners that are just going left, and they are all high speed. They're all putting huge amounts of stress on the front right tires of the cars. So it's going to be about who manages that best, I reckon.
Definitely is. This track is very hard for tire preservation, but I'm just saying myself, I'm curious to see how the GT3s drive around here. Because, well, as you know, the last time I competed at the Saxon ring was in an early 90s DTM car. So I'm curious to see how a modern machine can handle the elevation changes and high-speed corners here at the Saxon ring.
Well, if I recall correctly, the ADAC GT Masters regularly come here. So it should be a circuit that is well suited for these cars that we have. ADAC GT Masters, of course, also running standard GT3 spec. That's the DTM nowadays.
That's kind of like the formula for most series nowadays, isn't it?
Yeah, it's sort of become a more normalized, standardized formula, which in some ways is good because, well, it should make stuff cheaper. So it should make it cheaper for teams to get into these higher prestige series. Let's put it like that.
I did see a comparison a few months ago with GT3s, saying they're like the modern day Group A touring cars. As they're all over the world and many teams have ran. So perhaps you're onto something. I see the connection.
That's an interesting way to look at it, definitely. As we take a look at our TCRs, we of course have the top 3 right now between Sebastiano Rossi, Sven Mackenberg and Colin Barker, who are all looking to make headway here, with Joe Senna looming in the background, trying to catch back up to this. Yeah.
I feel like Senna might be a bit hard to walk at the moment, but I feel like Rossi probably has a good. I don't know. I feel like he has enough pace to try and hold off Mackenberg and Barker until the pit stop window, at least.
Well, we'll have to see. It's not like there is a window for it. From what I've seen, there's also a disagreement between different TCR drivers whether they do have to pit or whether it's quicker to just stay out with the worn tires.
Also probably depends on the car you're driving as well, because each car chews through their tires at different paces, so who knows.
Well, you do know though that the TCRs, the front wheel drive, they are very aggressive on the front tires, so
just like Porsche just ahead of us is quite aggressive on the rear tires.
Oh yeah,
the weights in the back,
and
so,
launching it up the hill as well.
And a bit sideways action as well, so perhaps that's not too good for the rubber, and it's helping Fischer a little bit, so recovering a good bit.
Looks
from,
like it, yeah.
Lap 1, P1.
Nikolai Latkovsky, as said earlier, has of course the maximum amount of
Ballast.
Success ballast, yeah, thank you. And so we'll have a bit of a different feeling in the car with 21 extra kilograms than the car would usually feel like. So it probably takes a bit of time getting used to as well, but it will definitely not help something like launching up the hill, as we see Lucas Fischer coming dangerously close here to Latkovsky. Let's see, slipstream does not look like it will be enough. He looks for the inside though, not close enough for a move at this moment. We'll have to see though at the longest straight on the circuit, which is a rather short straight here up the hill. It's about 700 meters, I believe. Oh, both of these cars getting unsettled.
Also, yeah, you mentioned the Porsche has success ballast, but depending where that ballast is, it might help with the weight distribution.
Oh
I know
yeah,
sometimes
right.
ballast can actually help in some cases.
Of course.
Especially with the Porsche.
Yeah.
If you put all the weight towards the front, then it can balance out with all the engine in the rear wing being at the back.
Yeah. Remind me again. What is the scenario for the Porsche GT3? Why does it have such a weight imbalance?
Oh, it's because it's all the weight's in the back because it's a rear engine, rear-wheel drive car. So the front can normally get quite light. So having some weight, or as I know personally from what I've done before, when you've not had success ballast, what I normally do is I run a little bit extra fuel than I need to. We'll get back to that thought in a second, but apparently we're watching a Peugeot fly through the sky. Anyways.
Unfortunately, Joe Senna seems to have DNF'd from this race.
I think he became an aeroplane. But as I was saying, yes, all the weight in the back of the Porsche naturally, the ballast, or maybe even a little extra fuel can help offset that imbalance. Bring it more in line with other cars like the Ferrari.
Exactly, so It just depends on where the ballast is situated in this regard. I'm unsure where it is situated, but well, it can't. It must have its downside and its positives, because you never want to have more weight on board. Well, most of the times you don't want to have more weight on board because you're just going to be slower, especially if you have elevation changes like these, where you have to go up a hill, like coming up.
Oh, yeah, like I said, it's in the Porsche. Sometimes it helps if you have all your ballast weight in the front. It will slow the car down a bit, so makes it more balanced. So it's basically the TLDR is the ballast can be a blessing or a curse. I'll say another curse in this race is the TCR front tires. I think, well, they'll probably be holding on for dear life, especially during this section here.
Definitely, the front right of these cars will. I have been told they will be getting quite close to the death of the tire itself. So it will be interesting to see whether someone decides to gamble there. As we see the first backmarker shenanigans. Well, no shenanigans there, it seems, but the first lapping has already happened 12 minutes into the race. That was, of course, Vasilis Katrinakis, who had a bit of an issue earlier and is now running a bit off the rest of the grid.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is his first run in this championship.
Yes, that's correct. Vasilis Katrinakis has joined this championship for this round specifically, and is racing for the first time today at the Saxon ring here at KCG.
I don't know his experience in RaceRoom, but hearing him talk, well, talking to him before previously, a good few amount of times. He's got experience at RF2 and ACC, so be interested to see how the skill set transfers over to RaceRoom, especially in clubbing, but I don't think he would race quite often in TCR.
It is something very different than most other racing, just because it's front-wheel drive. As we look back here from Julian Metzner coming out of the long left-hand section, it looks like that's where Metzner gains all of his advantages on Jiří Kratochvil.
Perhaps running less rear wing, maybe?
Maybe a bit of a less aero heavy setup, yes.
I will say it is nice seeing Julian Metzner leading, especially at his home race. I think if he wins this, I think he'll be over the moon with this potential win he has in his hands.
Definitely. So right now on board with Rüdiger Lampe, who's trying to catch back up to Mike Koch here. Oh, sideways for the Mercedes driver in front into the first corner there. That is, I mean, I don't know if the World Drift Championship goes here, but oh, seems like we have a few connection issues here, but it still looks like there's a battle on their hands, and Mike Koch likes to go a bit sideways.
You know what this boinking in and out of existence reminds me of?
What?
Have you ever watched that movie Wreck-It Ralph?
Oh yeah, yeah I did.
Reminds me of that character Penelope.
Oh, yes, the glitch princess.
Yes. That is a good film. If you haven't watched it, I would recommend it. It is quite good. The second one's not too bad, but the first one's a lot better.
Yeah, both of them are Disney movies, so they should be available on Disney Plus or other streaming services, potentially.
And you see Metzner just working his way through the TCRs. Just one more car to go, and he's left every touring car For about 15 minutes in this race already. Oh!
And that's when we go into the backmarker shenanigans situation, because look at this. There was a coming together between Jiří Kratochwil and Sven Mackenberg there. And, oh yeah, that just didn't end well for Jiří Kratochwil.
It's a very difficult place to overtake. So,
There are
wow.
not very many easy places to overtake here. There are two easy places, quote unquote, which is going to be after this coming up downhill section and after the start-finish straight.
So, maybe being a little bit impatient, but to have to review the incident, a more accurate, well, thought process.
Yes.
Analysis, you could say. That sounds very fancy.
Analysis, yeah.
No, thought process analysis.
Thought process analysis. Yes.
TPA.
That sounds like something you can study.
Sounds like part of the like a psychology curriculum. Bring out the fancy words today. We've busted out the thesauruses for this broadcast.
And it looks like Mike Koch.
So, see when you asked me to broadcast with you today, did I think you're forgetting to mention, but there may be some airplanes flying over the track.
Or under the track. I think I should have invited Akito Sasagawa. Anyways. Cody Nikola Latkovsky is trying to catch up to Julian Metzner now that there's Jiří Kratochwil out of the way. So, well, out of the way, 2 positions further down, 4 seconds behind the lead now. Much worse position than previously, of course. Previously, less than a second behind.
I will say it's interesting to see how Porsche will do against the sea of Ferraris. Because every car in P1 to P4 has a prancing horse. 3 Italian, 1 German.
But just listen to this engine. Beautiful.
Both brands have a lot of motorsport pedigree, so I wonder which horse will prevail: the German Stuttgart champion, or perhaps the raging Italian from Maranello.
Well, since this is a GT3 class and we have a BOP on these cars, there shouldn't be too much of a difference between the cars themselves. So most of the difference should be really what the driver does. So we'll have to see whether Cody Nikola Latkovsky can eke enough power out of the Porsche.
I can definitely say one thing: he's not prancing, he's galloping, because he's caught up 2 tenths that last lap to Metzner with say again, full ballast. So perhaps the ballast is placed quite well for him, or maybe he knows how to drive around his weight penalty of sorts.
Well, it looks to be like that. But it's only 20 minutes into the race. 2/3 of the race are now over.
Give me 1/3.
1/3. 1/3. 2/3 still coming. Exactly. Thank you. Luckily, I'm not the only one here. Well, luckily, I have someone in here with me that can do fractions.
Simple fractions, yes. But
yeah, you see here again, Julian Metzner eked out a bit of time here on the exit of the left-handers. So, and Lucas Fischer now as well. gaining much ground to this battle up in front here. So this is really turning out to be a three-way battle for the lead now. Between, funnily enough, let me mention this, 2 Germans driving non-German cars and 1 non-German driving a German car.
Yeah, it's I don't know who the fans would be supporting. I don't know if they'd support the driver or they'd support the manufacturer, which is German.
I know there are quite a lot of headstrong Porsche fans out there. So
I may be guilty of that.
okay.
Let's say, well, WEC was interesting last week, or once.
Definitely was, but we are not going to spoil anything. Don't worry, you can rewatch the entire 24 hours if you want. We are not going to spoil anything, but it was quite an interesting race.
I think we have a yellow flag. Oh!
Yeah, that's
What's
Jerzy
happened there?
Kratochwil just losing it at the end of the left-hander section. Maybe gone a bit onto the grass. Who knows? What we know is that the North Macedonian is now looking for a way past, going through the outside line, outbraking themselves almost. Whoa, what is that tire spin in the rear? That is some
my
aggressive behavior by this. I mean, that's Porsche behavior, right?
It worked though, look at that. He actually gained time for that. Oh my goodness.
I mean, he was briefly ahead of Julian Metzler there into T1.
Well, I can say one thing. This Porsche is trying its best to be the Widowmaker, because dearie me, this thing's getting driven like well, it's getting driven like a Porsche should be drifting.
It's getting driven like a Porsche should be drifting. Yes.
Driven.
There's
Yes. There's a video of the Nürburgring of a Porsche, well, a roof CTR yellow from the 1980s, where it's on the Nürburgring, but it's like nearly it's pretty much sliding or nearly every corner, and it feels like that's what Wachowski is doing, sort of recreating here at the Saxon. Or Saxon ring, sorry.
Exactly, yeah. Well done, well done. I did not expect you as a
native English speaker
to be able to pronounce that, but well done there. As we see Cody Nikola Latskovsky trying to go for it once again. Not close enough this time to make it side by side. But now there is a back marker of Vasilis Ekaterinakis coming up, so we'll have to see how they can navigate him. Actually, this is a sight you don't want to see in the lower class. Especially coming up to the fast left-hander section.
I fear this could get a bit dirty. Oh, I think Vasilis went a bit wide there, but well, no contact. So that's pretty good.
I think Vasilis just went for a respectful distance there in order to try and not get into anyone's way.
I feel like I'm watching Kevin Estre with this Porsche. Absolute wonders in the Manfield Racing 911 992. I'm pretty sure that is a Manfield Racing movie, isn't it? Manfield EMA Racing. Yes, I'm pretty sure.
I think so as well. EMA, yes, there's EMA on the front. Yeah.
Yes, one of the most popular 992 liveries in sim racing.
That sure seems like that. So
the other one is the Rexy.
Yes. I mean, now there's Rexy and Roxy, so...
How about Roxanne?
Roxanne.
Yeah, so you get the reference. I thought it might be a...
It's a Toto.
What's
a Toto?
I don't think so.
Oh, or the police. Something like that.
It is the police, yes.
Yeah. Right? But we'll see now. Oh, it seems like Nikola Latkovsky finally got a good run out of the left-hander section here, trying to maybe eke out a mistake from Julian Metzner. That is not something that is easily done, however. Julian Metzner is a rather safe driver most of the time, not really stressed, not really bothered, usually quite chill leading a battle, and even eking out a bit of an advantage here coming out of the last corner. So Nikola Latkovsky not close enough to go for any move at the end of the start-finish straight. And the only thing it seems that Lucas Fischer behind of them can do right now is watch and try to keep up.
Well, lucky for him, he gets front row seats to watch his battle for a lead, but I feel like the Ferrari is quicker in the straights, but the Porsche might be quicker in the corners, so quite evenly matched. But battles like these are normal, like pressure cookers, so you just have to wait until see which one boils first. Oh, so close.
Much curb being taken by the Porsche. It's not enough to get close enough for a move at the end of the straight.
When the Ferrari runs away a little bit, but the Porsche closes up, and the Ferrari gets away again. Oh, Porsche slidey.
It seems like this might be a battle of will Metzner make a mistake or not? Because there have been some things that Nikola Latkovsky has tried that haven't worked. So at which point do you have to try something new, or what do you do if nothing you try seems to work?
Sometimes for me, I like to just wait a battle hard and see if the driver I'm competing against slips up, or you have another factor like a backmarker, which we see Colin Barker in the Audi in the TCR class might spark a surprise perhaps.
Yeah, especially coming up here on the end of the left-hander section. Very shallow line there for the Porsche, having to go wider, and this helped Julian Metzner gain out a bit more of an advantage. Metzner able to take the back marker earlier and get a better line through the exit of the left-handers there.
I'm not sure if the Porsche is faster through the corner, or maybe he's getting a better corner entry.
Maybe better on the brakes, yeah.
Porsches are quite good in brakes, normally.
But yeah, 32 minutes in, we have been looking at this battle quite some time. So let's take a look at the standings currently. We have Julian Metzner being followed by Nikola Latkovsky, followed by Lucas Fischer. Then we have Jiří Kratochwil quite a ways back after having some issues. Rüdiger Lampe is then in P5 for the GT3 class, and František Štofko in P6. For the TCRs, with Sebastiano Rossi leading the way, ahead of Sven Mackenberg, Colin Barker, Vasilis Katrinakis, and we have two DNFs in Mike Koch and Joe Senna. We're still flying.
Come fly with me, come fly away. But
okay, Frank Sinatra.
Oh, I try. I wish I had the voice of Frank Sinatra. I wish I had his talent.
Who doesn't?
I think I'd be a lot more appealing as a commentator if I had his naturally, good sounding vocal cords.
You have nice sounding vocal cords, and more importantly, that nice light Scottish accent.
Light and heavy.
It is a light Scottish accent compared to some others.
Kovsky looking, but
It's really.
The thing is, what I'm thinking is, how long is he gonna wait? Like, is he gonna wait for Metzner to mess up on himself, or is he gonna try and force something? But
Well, as you said
Perhaps,
earlier, the back markers might come into place as they're now side by side. Tartakovsky going through the inside there on the back marker, while Metzner went around the outside. And this has shaken things up. That means that Cody Nikola Latkovsky is now leading the race ahead of Julian Metzner. So the two German teenagers are both in 2 and 3 now with the Ferraris. Well, maybe they will have to work together at some point. But Cody Nikola Latkovsky going very defensive, but go back to the normal racing line in order to, well, take the better line through here. We'll have to see, though. As you said earlier, the Ferrari might be better in the straights. So coming out of this last corner, we are now on the longest straight of the circuit. Breaking the slipstream there by the Porsche driver, but it seems to work. He's driving a bit away now.
But I know in IndyCar it's called snaking, that trying to break the toe like that. So I will say it's try to put every trick in the book just to try and get a gap on Metzner and Fischer. So I still find it interesting that the two Germans are driving an Italian car, but the North Macedonian driver is driving the German car.
Well, now they will have to decide which of the two Germans will want to go ahead, because Lucas Fischer will also want to take as good a position out of this battle as possible.
Or Fischer, I think he's closed up a little bit between the squabbling between Latkovsky and Metzner.
Overall, yeah, but he lost a bit in the middle of the left-handers there, it seems. But on the straights, let's take a look if they both can catch up to the Porsche once again. Because this doesn't seem like a done battle. Of course, Julian Metzner being the one here without any success ballast? No.
Yeah.
No.
That or very little. Pretty sure all 3 cars have success ballast.
No, Julian Metzner does not have any success ballast whatsoever at the moment.
That's like a brand new car, pretty much. Fischer's got something, and Latkovsky's got full ballast, so having ballast might play a little bit into this as well.
Yeah, Lucas Fischer currently has 11 kilograms of ballast. So we do have 2 drivers here with a bit of ballast. Well, one with a massive bit of ballast, who is currently, despite it, looking to drive away from Julian Metzner. But Nikola Latkovsky, well done.
Maybe tires are doing a bit well, maybe the tires are starting to go off in the Ferrari.
Might very well be the case. We'll have to see what happens. As we see, František Štofko is now is catching up to Rüdiger Lampe once again, as they are coming up to the back marker here of Colin Barker. A bit of flashing there. Oh, that was close. That was a bit of touring correction.
It's already on contact, but I don't. Maybe I think Štofko could have maybe just waited another corner with an extra few seconds and prevented damage to both cars there.
I mean,
it's a bit
ambitious. I hope that for both of their sakes that the damage was rather minuscule due to that, but Štofko didn't want to wait because he wants to catch up to Lampe and he wants to take the position away as quickly as possible. Well, he wants to at least stay on his rear, to stay in the slipstream. Doesn't want him to drive away.
I would say that the more I see this battle, the more I just picture this Audi, because I think you may have noticed, but I've definitely noticed that this particular Audi, the Audi R8, was it LMS Evo 2 something?
Yeah.
I know. Became a bit more popular in the tracc.eu racing weeks.
Generally, in tracc.eu, it has seen a bit of a resurgence, yeah.
Which, if you guys were wondering, you can join the tracc.eu or Discord server from the QR code on the right side of the broadcast. And if you want to race in this week, you can sign up. There's sign-ups for everyone. Same with Track GT, which is in ACC.
Indeed, you can. Most of our championships are available for everyone to sign up. We're looking to race at the moment or in the near future in RaceRoom, ACC, and coming up in LMU as well.
That's the one I'm probably going to keep the eye on the most. Is LMU. It's a lot of smoke there from I think that's Rossi.
Rossi or Muckenberg, yeah, the TCRs. Oh, as they come together, and that's a turned around Mercedes. Rüdiger Lampe turned around the Fanatec Stofko, inheriting the P5 position thanks to that.
I don't want to say anything, but I think the stewards will definitely want to have a look at that one. That's to me that was like just wiping out. See if Stofko gives the position back, but that was a bit way too aggressive.
The stewards, aka me, will take a look at that later, definitely. A bit of an update on the TCRs. Sebastiano Rossi is still leading the way in the TCRs, as we see here coming up Fanatec Stofko right behind. And is 1.6 seconds ahead of Sven Muckenberg. It seems that Sven Muckenberg can be quicker, but in some laps he might have a bit of an issue where he just is suddenly a second further off. Then he catches it all back up once again.
A bit inconsistent, man.
Perhaps.
But I will say I love how the TCR grid is diverse with a Volkswagen, Alfa Romeo, an Audi, a Lycan Co, and a Peugeot all turning up today.
Yeah, definitely. It's beautiful to see so many different manufacturers being represented. If I were on this grid myself, I would be driving the Opel Astra, of course.
Ah, the one from Track Labs.
Definitely, the one from the track that we saw earlier.
Which you can watch on YouTube to re-watch anytime.
Exactly. All of our track labs are uploaded on our YouTube channel as well, where you are currently watching this live stream on, or the VOD of it afterwards. Hello, VOD watchers. But yeah, Lucas Fischer here, right on the rear of Julian Metzner, looking to make up the position now. Because he can see Cody Nikola Latkovsky in the up ahead is seemingly getting away a bit, and he will not want that. Lucas Fischer will not want that. He will want to go for the win if possible.
Like Metzner might want to really push because this is his home race after all. Everyone knows if you have a chance to win your home race, you're giving it your all.
Oh, definitely,
So,
yeah. But it is the first race for Julian Metzner this season where he's racing in a GT3. There's a bit of an unfamiliarity with the car that's coming in as well.
However, lucky for him, he doesn't have any success boost, so
Yeah.
well, it was out the playing field a little bit. But I'm not sure how used he is to RaceRoom, so maybe that's also a point against him. Fighting against him, I should say.
What we know is that he's pretty rapid when it comes to ACC, and what we also know is that Lucas Fischer right behind him is pretty rapid when it comes to RaceRoom. Of course, Julian Metzner being one of our younger drivers now, coming with the ACC at tracc.eu, whereas Lucas Fischer, back in the days when we did other RaceRoom championships, before we switched over to ACC originally, having been there and having been a force to be reckoned with in every championship, no matter the car.
So it is the battle of the youth. It is the battle of the RaceRoom Goliath versus the Oh, I don't know how you describe Metzner. He's
Goliath.
quick, but
It's called like Goliath 1 versus
David-
Goliath 2.
David versus Goliath, I guess you could say. In
Nah,
RaceRoom.
not really.
I'm pretty sure Metzner has won a championship in track before, so perhaps this is a.
Well, yes, and Lucas Fischer
Yeah,
has
perhaps-
won championships in RaceRoom back in the day.
Maybe, in fact, this might be a round 2 of sorts from the track stars in ACC at the Jaguars at Valencia many moons ago.
Oh, yeah.
Which you were amusingly commentating as well.
I was?
Yes, you were, with Ivana.
I forgot if I was
Where?
racing there, because obviously I have been a championship twice as well. Once in RaceRoom, once in AC. Never in ACC, unfortunately.
You've been a championship.
I have been
But,
a championship, yes.
Well, I will say you've done one thing that a lot of people in track haven't done, is you've won a championship in 2 different sims.
That is true, yeah.
I've been lucky enough to also win 2 championships. Both in V-Track, but for class, I've never won it overall. But looks like Vasilis is with a yellow flag.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Maybe went off there at the start of the left-handers. But what we can see as well is when Mackenberg, who's now within a second of Sebastiano Rossi, so it seems like there's going to be a battle coming up here. I don't think either of them have pit yet.
I don't think anyone's pitted, have they?
I don't think so either.
It's 41 minutes, like 42 minutes on these tires. So that front right must be burning. It must be going right all the way down to the cords.
What's the English word for that again? Let me look that up real quick.
I love the rear wing in the
Marcus.
Volkswagen. I mean, it looks absolutely huge on the Golf.
Yeah, it does.
It looks so big.
I mean, this wing.
Yes. Volkswagen. Das Auto.
That's Auto. But yeah, these TCRs are looking like they might be down to the carcass of the tire already. Or soon, maybe, hopefully, maybe hopefully not.
Perhaps we might witness a puncture.
Oh, but look at the line difference between the two. Sebastiano Rossi going for a very wide entry into the left-handers, where Sven Mackenberg keeps it more inside and tidy.
I wonder who's driving a bit more aggressive on the tires between these two.
Well, right behind them is the battle for P1 and P2 coming up.
GT3, yeah.
Yes.
So it's 2 leading groups in their class is going to be overlapping just now.
So we've got Latkovsky navigating them quite easily. The further two's behind. Oh, that's compromised line there on entry for Lucas Fischer. So he's going to lose quite a bit of time, but Julian Metzner now made up some time to go to Nikola Latkovsky in front as well.
I think it's definitely something to do with the setup with Metzner's car. I think he might be running a little less rear wing than, say, for example, Fischer, sorry.
That might very well be the case. Behind them as well, now we have the battle for P1 in the TCR class between Sebastiano Rossi and Sven Mackenberg. It's Italy versus Germany. They are sticking to their countries when it comes to cars, not like the GT3 equivalents. I mean, to be fair, there is no North Macedonian car that I know of. So...
Well, I can say I don't think there's been a British TCR car either, so...
MG? Alright, MG is Chinese now.
Vauxhall doesn't count because it's a rebadged Opel.
Fair enough. But, I mean, we gotta count the MG somewhat on heritage, right? The MG6 is TCR, after all.
Yeah, but as you said, it's Chinese, so... On a technicality, yes, but enough for technicalities than are, but we see Metzer is just, he's so much quicker in this last sector. I think he gains like a 10 or 2 on Wachowski every lap, but then Wachowski can make up for it the rest of the lap.
Yeah. Has there never been a Mini Cooper in TCR?
There's German. Mini's owned by BMW and have been for nearly 30 years.
Right. But John Cooper Works is British, right?
Technically, yeah. Maybe. I don't really know. That is something I shall research for the next round of commentary. The British Championship.
We'll have to see. Anyways, it's Sven
multi-part fact.
Multi-part. You have to check out next time in order to find out if John Cooper Works is British or not. And whether there has been a British TCR car. We will find 1 week from now. Or maybe 2 weeks from now. Depending on when you will next commentate.
This will feel like, if you remember back, like, was it Pokemon the Indigo League? It's like, who's that Pokemon? Where's that TCR car from?
Oh god. Something like that would be quite funny, right? Who's that race car?
It's...
LMP2.
Julian Metzner.
Oh. It's Julian Metzner. Julian Metzner is now a race car and not a driver anymore. You heard it here first. But he is
Ferrari 296 is the driver.
Yes. Yes. No, Wild Things Racing is the driver and Ferrari 296 is the team. Everything makes sense. But Julian Metzner is coming closer towards Latkowski. Does this have to do with tires, maybe? After all, yeah, the right-hand tires are gonna be heavily worn out. So, for both of these classes, the TCRs and the GT3s.
I wonder if it's worth it to stop for a fresh bit of rubber. Maybe I would have splashed fuel as well.
I think it's only really worth it if you don't get a...
Penalty.
No, not a penalty, a puncture. Like if the tire gets so bad that it just poofs.
Just disintegrates.
Yeah, I think just to avoid that, you would have to pit. But if they have been nursing the tires well enough, maybe they don't need to pit.
Maybe. I feel like the TCR is... If this race was any longer an hour, would definitely have to pit. Because the front rubber on those cars must be absolutely going down to the rim.
Well, we'll see if we see sparks flying from the wheels sooner or later. Hopefully not.
He's dropping bars, sparks on sparks.
Ah. Anyways. We have Julian Metzner here. Still looking to get closer to Latkowski, who is in the lead now, after having qualified only in P3. But
perhaps the one lap. Perhaps the one lap pace, or the quality pace, wasn't there for the Porsche because of the ballast. Perhaps the ballast is a lot more helpful during race conditions for that car. Well, we'll say the Porsche does look a bit slidey.
It has been looking slidey the entire race.
A lot more now though, which is probably exactly where rubber is gonna be absolutely shredded before Kowski's been. How should I put it? Driving the Porsche.
He has definitely been driving the Porsche, yes.
Maybe the Porsche's been driving him.
Or maybe.
To be or not to be? That is the question.
Are we human or are we driver?
All I know is my time is vital.
Unfortunately,
Oh,
Lucas Fischer is losing a bit on this battle as Sven Mackenberg is now coming closer than ever to Sebastiano Rossi.
So that's what Metzner and Fischer are thinking, is their time is vital. They've got less than 10 minutes to try and catch the Porsche.
Good point. And so thinks Sven Mackenberg if he wants to get ahead of Sebastiano Rossi. I mean, he is as close as he's ever been. 9 minutes left on the clock. This is finally the chance for Sven Mackenberg to go for his first victory in this series. On his second home track, because last week we were at Nürburgring, of course.
I think winning it in Germany as a German driver in a German car is like winning, probably like winning the N24, isn't it? We try around the outside.
Oh, trying to go for the inside, and he's inside. He made it somehow, but did not get enough traction there on the grass in order to overtake Sebastiano Rossi.
I will say it was a good attempt at a switchback, but not this time.
The gap was closing, and that caught him off guard a bit. Left to see whether he will try something again, or when he will try something again, because there's 8 minutes left on the clock. Not all the time in the world to go for a move.
The driver's times are vital, and so is their tire preservation. If you've been driving like a lunatic, your tires will be, well, great for it. But the TCRs looking more composed than the GT3s does at the moment.
At the moment they do, yes. They are not dropping the smoke screens as much as they usually do. Probably in tire preparation mode, both of the drivers. As I say that, there's a smoke screen being deployed by Sebastiano Rossi on acceleration.
I think you might see some more coming to the braking zone as well.
As they're catching up to Vasilis Katerinakis to lap. And behind is František Štofko coming up to them. Whoa! Now the smoke screen is being deployed.
That's the TCR cars. You think about it, anything at high speed when the smoke comes out, it's kind of like a James Bond gadget of sorts.
Oh, it does feel like that, yeah.
It's like a sudden smoke screen.
Wow. Oh, František Štofko getting unsettled there, following Sven Mackenberg. And that's a safe pass. And Sebastiano Rossi's not one to simply move out of the way. Oh, he does go wide here, though, in order to allow Štofko to take the line, the inside line, and gained quite a bit of time, honestly, on Sven Mackenberg here.
Interesting. But so we've run about 6 minutes left, so...
6 minutes left.
Handful of laps left to go. Let's see if Mackenberg can close the gap and try another attempt at an overtake on Rossi.
Or whether the smoke screen catches him out. Would Alfa Romeo be the Italian James Bond car?
No.
What would?
If James Bond drives an Aston Martin, you don't see Aston Martins everywhere, unless you live in like Monaco. So,
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm trying to think what would be rare in Italy. I think a Ferrari is too flash, and so is a Lamborghini. So Maybe a Maserati?
A Maserati, yeah, that might be.
I just imagine Sebastian Rossi, his VTuber model, dressed up in a tuxedo and him with his Maserati spy car.
Just out of interest, I just asked our friend ChatGPT, as we see Rüdiger Lampe passing by, what an Italian James Bond would be called. Either Giacomo Legame, which would be the literal translation, Gianfranco Bondo, which it dubs the Italianized cool-sounding version, or Jacopo Ferraro. So, would probably then drive a Ferrari if it were the last one.
I'm just noticing that the Golf is catching through here. Oh, a bit wide from Rossi there.
And to be quite honest, it might be just Rossi starting to lose the tires a bit. Well, look at how wide he's going each and every corner now.
Maybe it's a bit of pressure from Valkenburg as well.
Let's take a look here as we come through the left-hander section of the Saxon ring. Oh yes, Sven Markenberg is catching, but the most important corner is coming up here for catching. Oh yeah, look at that beautiful exit by Sven Markenberg. Will this be close enough to go for a move? Let's take a look. He's going side by side. There is very little room between the two. Sebastiano Rossi on the inside there, side by side. And there's a Porsche coming from behind. Nikola Latkowski. It's not close enough to go for a move. Oh, Rossi goes defensive, but two GT3s are coming there. And those are both of the leaders, which are also now battling once again, because Nikola Latkowski having been held up there a bit due to this battle for the lead of the TCRs going on. We have two battles right now for the lead in both classes. Oh, as that is a bit of a late move there by Lucas Fischer in between the two TCRs. Oh, and a bit unsettled as well.
Ross is keeping his cool though, with the GT3 is passing by, so it looks like he's built a little bit of a gap to Mockenberg.
The gap is much closer right now between the top two GT3s. Nikola Latkowski is ahead of Julian Metzner right here. 1 minute 47 still left on the clock. That means after this lap, we will have one more lap. No, the next lap that they will start now will be the penultimate lap. After that, one more lap, the final lap. We're now starting lap 45. Yes, and then lap 46 will be the last one. So there's just 2 more laps now for both of the battles to decide who will be the winner. And it looks like Sven Markenberg really has to take everything his car has now in order to go for a win. Nikola Latkowski, the fast left-handers right now. This is a section where, well, we have not quite figured out who is faster here. It seemed in the beginning that the Ferrari was usually the faster car through this section. We see again that Julian Metzner is not far off the Porsche. This is not close enough to go for a move into the last corner. For Nikola Laskovsky breaking the toe there once again in order to not give any advantage to Julian Metzner right behind. But look at how close the Ferrari is here, almost Constantinaing into the rear of the Porsche. And that is something, you have to keep that, Julian Metzner, if you want to go for an overtake. You have to keep that close distance and then pounce in an overtaking opportunity. This is the last lap. The countdown timer is at 0. And there's still 2 battles going on with Cody Nikola Laskovsky, and as well we have the lead battle between Sebastiano Rossi and Sven Mackenberg. So let's go on board right now. Let's take a look at Julian Metzner. This is the last sector coming up now for the 2. Julian Metzner will have 2 more possibilities max to go for an overtake. Cody Nikola Laskovsky breaking the toe here. It looks like Julian Metzner will not be close enough to go for a move past the North Macedonian. Cody Nikola Laskovsky looking very secure here through the last few corners, and it seems to be Cody Nikola Laskovsky snaking his way to victory now. It is the North Macedonian driver, which won ahead of Julian Metzner in his home race and Lucas Fischer. But there's still one more battle to go. We have Sebastiano Rossi and Sven Mackenberg battling it out. And Sebastiano Rossi going for a worse line. But look at the line that Mackenberg has taken. He should have gone for a switchback potentially here. That would have been the only possibility for him to get the victory in TCR class. But as it stands now, it's Sebastiano Rossi who has secured another victory in the TCR class, and this is going to catapult him into P1 way ahead of Joe Senna, who unfortunately DNF'd this race. Jiří Kravtsov will finish in P4. Actually, we're going to see all of that rather soon. So, it seems like, are they not going for an in-lap? They're just continuing to race, or what? Julian Metzner going for the outside here. Let's, yeah. Now everyone is finished, and it's official. Cody Nikola Laskovsky has won the GT3 race. Also got the fastest lap. So it's not, but it was not as dominant as it looked. Did not lead the entire time. And P2 was Julian Metzner for Wild Things Racing. P3 Lucas Fischer. P4 Jiří Kratochwil. P5 František Stofko. P6 Rüdiger Lampe. And in the TCRs we have Sebastiano Rossi winning the race in front of Sven Mackenberg, Colin Barker, and Vasilis Katerinakis. Mike Koch and Joe Senna both DNF'd, unfortunately. And that was that. Wow. What a race. Jordan, are you still with me? It seems not. Doesn't matter. Maybe he passed out due to the action we had here in the last couple of laps. That was some beautiful racing by the leaders for the GT3 class and the leaders for the TCR class. We will likely see something very similar next week as we go to Shanghai Circuit for the Chinese T-Prix, which will be the round 6 of the KCG Racing League. I have been Julian Strasser. With me for most of the stream has been Jordan Brunch. Next week you can see more racing of this caliber going on. You can also join our league And with that, I say thank you all so much for watching and see you on the racetrack.